I want to do an example of finding the inverse function of a rational function. We've done some linear functions and some simpler functions, but I think the algebra here might tend to trip some people up, so I wanted to give you guys an example. Okay, the process is going to be the same. Okay, so we have the function f of x equals 3 plus 5x over 3 minus x, and we want to find the inverse of f, or f inverse. Okay, and so remember the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to write as y equals. Okay, so I'm going to replace the f of x with y. Let's do that a little better. So y equals 3 plus 5x over 3 minus x. Okay, and that just makes it easier to work with, right? We don't have to keep rewriting f of x. Okay, that's really the only reason we do that. Now we're going to, remember, we're going to switch the x and y's. Okay, and the reason we do that, it's not just arbitrary, but remember our little diagram where we showed like the domain of f and the range of f, and we saw that the output of our function, okay, becomes the input of our inverse function. Okay, so if you remember that little diagram, the range of f, the output of f, becomes the domain or input of the inverse of f. So that's why we're switching, okay, x and y. So I'll call this x, and 3 plus 5y, 3 minus y. And so now we're going to just solve for y. So we want to get y by itself. Okay, but this is a little trickier than it seems. Okay, and the first thing we want to do is get rid of that denominator. We want to get rid of this fraction and just make it so we have all sort of linear terms and not be dividing. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply both sides by 3 minus y. Okay, so if you have something in the denominator and you want to get rid of that denominator, then you multiply both sides by that. So I'll illustrate that here. So I've got 3 minus y over here times x equals 3 plus 5 y, 3 minus y, and I'm going to multiply this side by 3 minus y. Okay. You'll see that those terms are going to go away. Okay. So again, if we have a denominator and we want to get rid of that, if we multiplied both sides by the denominator, and you'll see we end up with 3 minus y times x equals 3 plus 5y, and now we don't have any terms in a denominator. Okay, we just have some linear terms here. Okay, so now you're still probably going, well, how am I getting these y's together? Okay, in this instance, I'm going to say, well, let's go ahead and distribute this x. Okay, so we'll distribute that x, and so we get 3x minus yx is equal to 3 plus 5y. So now we've gotten rid of the parentheses too. We got rid of the denominator, we got rid of the parentheses, and now we have a term with x, term with xy, a constant, and a term with y. So I want to get all my y terms to one side. Okay, Okay, so I want to get this piece and this piece together, and then I can bring everything else to the other side. Okay, so I'm going to add yx to both sides. So plus yx over here. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move this 3 over here, so I'm going to subtract 3. Subtract 3, okay, from both sides. And so what I end up with, you can see my yx terms are going to go away. My 3 is going to go away from that side, and I'm left with 3x minus 3 equal to 5y plus yx. And so now I still need to get, I don't have y by itself, and I can't just really add these because this has an x variable and that this does not, okay? But notice that these both have terms of y in them. They both contain a y in them. So I'm going to factor out, okay? I'm going to factor out y. Okay, so over on the left I get 3x minus 3. And if I pull the y out here, I'm left with 5 plus x. Okay. And now I'm in good shape because I have y kind of by itself. I've got y multiplied by something else. Okay, so if I've got y times something, now I can just divide both sides. If I've got y plus or times 5 plus x, if I divide both sides by 5 plus x, okay, I'll just be left with y. You can see those terms are going to cancel, and so we are left with 3x minus 3 over 5x plus y, and that's equal to y. And then we'll rewrite that using our inverse notation, so we can say that the inverse of f of x is equal to 3x minus 3 over 5x plus y.